In just the past few days, information about Manchester United recruiting Ederson has appeared all over the media. Accordingly, Ineos is conducting advanced negotiations with Atalanta to soon close this deal, after reaching a personal agreement with the Brazilian midfielder. This can be considered the club's first deal in this year's summer market, opening up an extremely exciting transfer period. However, there are still many doubts from fans when it comes to Ederson. Maybe it's because we don't often watch Serie A matches to grasp the qualities that a star born in 1999 can bring to the Red Devils. And to answer this question of the majority of the audience, we would like to send you a video, Decoding, the Samba dancer who is on the Atalanta payroll. What will he bring to Manchester United if this deal is activated? The past 24 hours were probably an extremely exciting time for the Italian press, as they continuously updated the Old Trafford team's recruitment of Ederson. According to information from journalist Matteo Moretto, a highly reputable writer, Manchester United and Atalanta have reached a verbal agreement on the transfer of the Brazilian midfielder. Meanwhile, the player himself is also excited at the prospect of joining the Theatre of Dreams, after agreeing to personal terms with a 5-year contract with a salary of £120,000 to £150,000 per week. Final details regarding the transfer fee still need to be finalized, and both clubs have scheduled further discussions to find a final common ground on the deal. Currently, the price being rumored by the press is around €40 to €50 million, a relatively high number for a player with only 1 year left on his contract. But there will be no problem if Ederson develops his true value in the Manchester United shirt. It doesn't stop there. Journalist Tyrone Marshall also confirmed that the Red Devils are very close to their first signature under head coach Michael Carrick, having made great progress in the deal to recruit the 1999-born star from Atalanta. Ederson did not feature in last Friday's draw with Fiorentina, and coach Rafael Palladino confirmed the player is very close to leaving the club. Not attending the matches to ask for permission to negotiate with a leading European team. And yes, it could very well be Manchester United. In addition, the leader of the Bergamo team also admitted that the decision to let Ederson leave was agreed upon with the player, because there are developments in the transfer market and he will not renew his contract as expected. Thus, after a series of information updated by the press recently, it is likely that Ineos will soon close this deal before focusing entirely on blockbuster contracts like Elliot Anderson or Sandro Tonali, names ready to start at the club. However, there are still many doubts surrounding the former Corinthians player. Some opinions say that he may be a Manuel Ugarte 2.0 version, not even much better than Fred the Great, so it will be difficult for him to succeed at Old Trafford. In addition, the 26-year-old midfielder is also said to lack speed, is not used to a powerful and high-intensity environment like the Premier League, and lacks experience in top battles, a very important factor to maintain a competitive mentality in many arenas. Of course, concern and skepticism are inevitable every time Manchester United recruits a new recruit. But instead of just focusing on finding Ederson's weaknesses and then hastily criticizing Ineos' transfer methods, let's look at what he can bring to the Red Devils if this deal is activated. That's what's important. First point, Ederson possesses an extremely strong physical foundation. He continuously performed high-intensity movement situations for 90 minutes. The Brazilian player acts as a solid anchor, actively approaching to break the ball's deployment routes and recover the ball right in the opponent's half. He is a true box-to-box midfielder, able to appear in every hot spot on the field. In big matches, Atalanta's number 13 often moves continuously between the two penalty areas, supporting the defense and then immediately participating in the counterattack. In the Champions League season 2025-2026, Ederson averaged nearly 9.6 km per match and had a maximum speed of up to 33.77 km per hour. This shows that he is not only strong in endurance but also possesses very good acceleration ability for a central midfielder, completely contrary to the stereotype that a player born in 1999 cannot keep up with the high intensity in the Premier League. Besides his physical strength, Ederson is also very confident in narrow spaces. He can receive the ball with his back turned and turn skillfully to relieve pressure before the opponent presses high. In addition, he also acts as a ball transfer station, helping to pull the ball from the lower line to the top with short, coherent passes or his own breakthroughs. This is shown by his impressive long pass accuracy rate, different from concerns that he is just a destroyer, like Manuel Ugarte, someone who only focuses on clearing the ball out of the penalty area. According to statistics in the Champions League season 2025-2026, Ederson achieved a passing accuracy rate of 88.12%. This is a very high number for a midfielder who often plays in areas under high pressure. If you think that Serie A is a slow-paced tournament, then the Champions League is the clearest proof of the former Salernitana star's ability, because this is the arena that brings together Europe's top clubs. Thanks to his abundant energy, this midfielder also possesses extremely strong pressing ability. He approaches very quickly, competes fiercely and is especially good at breaking the opponent's ball deployment structure. It is no exaggeration to say that Ineos's choice of Ederson was to clean up, giving Kobbie Mainoo more space to maximize his creative qualities. Therefore, don't be surprised when Atalanta's number 13 caught the eye of Ineos and was not a flimsy deal. Although his forte is a central midfielder, the samba dancer can play as a deep-lying number 6 or play high up like a number 8 when needed. This will be a very important factor to help him combine well not only with Kobbie Mainoo but also with potential rookies preparing to arrive at Old Trafford such as Elliot Anderson, Sandro Tonali or even Matias Fernandes. With a player willing to act as a secondary double, and able to combine well with many different types of central midfielders, Ineos has even more grounds to close this deal. We cannot ask Ederson to be an artist like Frenkie de Jong, but he is strong, cunning enough and possesses a good technical foundation to shield the ball, manage under pressure, escape pressing with neat touches or pull the ball over the line. Those qualities are completely useful at Old Trafford and can help coach Michael Carrick rebuild Manchester United's midfield in a more balanced, energetic and modern way in the future. Manchester United will have an easier time implementing their tactical intentions, especially when next season the team has to fight in many different arenas. The biggest difference between the Brazilian player and Manuel Ugarte is his ability to read the tempo of the game extremely well. He is smart enough to know what he needs to do, instead of just relying on his strength to destroy his opponents. In the midfield, Ederson always plays fiercely with a very high fighting spirit. Once he is determined to do something, he will make everyone satisfied instead of holding his head in frustration. In modern football, midfielders who are both physically strong and good at handling the ball like stars born in 1999 are always prioritized by big teams in the transfer market. Of course, Ederson still makes many people worried. He has never played football in the Premier League, while many stars from Serie A have disappointed in England such as Rasmus Højlund, Højbjerg or somewhat Sofian Amrabat. Therefore, the doubts from fans are completely understandable. However, Ederson is no longer the type of potential player who needs more time to develop. He has entered the maturity of his career, is always a reliable fulcrum in the midfield and rarely makes the mistake of losing the ball in dangerous areas. Statistics of 73 rescue times and 40 successful tackles in Serie A and Champions League alone are more than enough to convince any big team, not just Manchester United. His stable performance over the years is the reason why Atalanta boldly bid him up to €50 million, even though the contract is only valid for 1 year. Not only Manchester United, many big teams in the Premier League are also willing to spend heavily to bring the Brazilian midfielder out of Italy. However, it is also necessary to acknowledge the fact that Ederson is the type of player who depends heavily on the tactical system. Therefore, his ability to adapt in the new environment is still a big question mark. The 26-year-old midfielder is strong in his ability to hold the ball and compete, but decisive passes or powerful long-range shots from the second line are not too sharp weapons. In addition, when facing wingers or attacking midfielders with speed and tricky techniques, Ederson is sometimes easily overtaken and forced to commit tactical fouls near the penalty area, leading to dangerous free-kick situations for the home team. The former Salernitana star is a midfielder with a lot of energy and is very suitable for modern football, but he is not the type of conductor who can change the outcome of the match on his own with technique or creativity. Not to mention, the enormous pressure in the Premier League can completely affect this player's performance. Therefore, the most important thing lies with coach Michael Carrick, whether he can maximize the value that this potential rookie brings to help the Red Devils improve or not. It can be said that Ederson is the typical embodiment of the modern central midfielder, possessing a strong physical foundation, rich in energy, versatile and always ready to sacrifice for the team. He is not only a simple interception midfielder but also the engine that helps the entire system operate smoothly, a bridge between defense and attack, and is always ready to be the foundation for his teammates to shine. What he cares about most is still the collective success of the team. Although he has no experience at top European clubs, Ederson has won the Europa League, regularly appears in the European Cup and always shows his spirit of dedication. That is also the factor that convinces Ineos to be ready to send an official proposal to Atalanta to soon complete this deal. It should be remembered that Manchester United is not only pursuing Ederson in this summer transfer window. The Red Devils are still targeting many other quality targets, so fans should not worry too quickly about the possibility of failure of the 1999 midfielder. Now let's wait and see how Michael Carrick will use Ederson next season.